The old town had always seemed quaint, its cobblestone streets and time-worn buildings giving it an air of nostalgia. But the feeling in my gut as we approached the door of the dusty antique shop was different. It was a mixture of curiosity and unease. Mom had always said that curiosity was a trait we shared, but little did I know that it would lead us to a story more haunting than any I'd imagined. The bell above the door jingled softly as we stepped inside, the air thick with the scent of aged wood and forgotten memories. Shelves upon shelves were lined with trinkets, each holding a whisper of history. But what caught my attention was a single doll, its porcelain features lifelike and hauntingly beautiful. I couldn't tear my gaze away from it, my fingers almost itching to touch its delicate craftsmanship. The doll seemed almost alive, its glassy eyes locking onto mine. I turned to my mom, expecting to see a smile of approval, but her expression was distant, as if lost in thought. "Mom, look at this doll," I said, my voice tinged with excitement. Her gaze shifted to the doll, and a shadow passed over her features. "It's beautiful, but there's something unsettling about it." I nodded, feeling a chill run down my spine. The doll's presence was captivating, yet there was an intangible sense of foreboding that clung to it. As we left the shop, I cast one last look at the doll, wondering about the stories it held within its porcelain frame. That night, the antique doll haunted my dreams, its porcelain face and empty eyes staring at me from the darkness. The moonlight filtered through my window, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. The lines between reality and dreams blurred, and I could almost feel the doll's gaze following me even in my sleep. The next morning, the doll was gone from my thoughts as the sun rose, casting its warm glow on the town. Mom suggested we explore the nearby forest, another adventure to sate our curiosity. Little did I know that the forest held its own secrets, ones that would intertwine with the doll's. As we walked deeper into the woods, the air grew cooler, and the rustling leaves seemed to whisper secrets of their own. A clearing appeared before us, and in its center stood a dilapidated cottage. It was as if time itself had forgotten this place, letting nature claim it as its own. Peering through a dusty window, my heart skipped a beat. The room was filled with dolls, porcelain, wooden, cloth, all in various states of completion. There was something about them, something uncanny, as if they held a life of their own. My fingers traced the glass, and in that moment, I felt a connection to the Silent Dollmaker who had once crafted these eerie figures. As we explored the cottage further, I stumbled upon a journal hidden beneath a pile of tattered cloth. The words within told a haunting tale of a reclusive dollmaker who had poured his heart and soul into his creations. He had wanted to capture life's fleeting moments in his dolls, to create something eternal. But as I read, a sense of tragedy settled over me. The dollmaker's loneliness had consumed him, driving him to desperate measures. The final pages spoke of a ritual, one that was meant to grant life to his most cherished creation, the porcelain doll that had captured my attention. The journal's words sent a chill down my spine. Had the dollmaker succeeded in infusing life into his creation? Was the doll I had seen the same one from the journal? The lines between the story and reality blurred as I clutched the journal in my hands. That night, I couldn't sleep. The moonlight filtered through the window, casting a soft glow on the antique doll that sat on my shelf. Its glassy eyes seemed to hold secrets, and I could almost hear a whisper, a plea for understanding. As days turned into weeks, the doll's presence became a constant in my thoughts. Its story and the dollmaker's journal felt like threads woven into the fabric of my reality. I knew I had to uncover the truth, to learn what had become of the Silent Dollmaker's creations. My search led me back to the forest, to the dilapidated cottage that held the echoes of a forgotten life. I stood in the clearing, the wind rustling the leaves around me. The cottage felt like a portal to the past, a place where time itself had stopped. With trembling hands, I held the dollmaker's journal, its pages filled with his hopes and fears. I felt a connection to him, as if his story was intertwined with mine. As I read his words aloud, a soft breeze swept through the clearing, and the dolls within the cottage seemed to come alive, their eyes alight with an otherworldly glow. And then, there she was, the porcelain doll that had haunted my thoughts. She stepped into the clearing, her gaze locking onto mine. It was as if the boundary between past and present had dissolved, and the dollmaker's creations were no longer confined to the pages of a journal.